Guys, looks like Hit's been trapped in another dimension. That's right, everyone. Dragon Ball Super episode 111 just hit, and Hit took a hit. Extreme battle of another dimension. Hit versus Jiren. So many extreme battles lately. It's kind of giving me the vapors. Where we last left off, Goku and Jiren had a climactic battle, which pretty much leveled most of the arena and left us all wide-eyed with excitement at what we just witnessed. Not only that, but it just left every single DBTuber channel speculating for days, including mine. Literally, yeah, that's all we would talk about. Also, we left with a parting shot of Frieza finding Goku drained of energy, completely and utterly helpless. Most of us assumed that Frieza would actually do the deed and incapacitate Goku in some way. But yeah, I know what you were thinking, but it wasn't that. It was instead the perfect place for Frieza to do what he should have done a long time ago. Spare a cup of energy. Yeah, you didn't seriously think Frieza would kill Goku right now, did you? Not only would he potentially be disqualified and erased from the universe, but then he wouldn't have anyone to try and help him tap into the Ultra Instinct form now, would he? Goku's much more used to him alive. So instead, Frieza chose that moment to settle the debt that Goku had established a long time ago by sparing some of his energy on Namek. So the slate has been wiped clean. Frieza is no longer indebted to a filthy monkey. It actually serves multiple goals. First, the one I just talked about, settling debts and whatnot. It also gets Goku back in the ring and he'll prove a worthwhile distraction to most fighters. And it will ensure that Frieza gets the chance to take on the gods in some way. One thing's for sure, it's definitely not out of kind. However, Frieza does open up to Goku in some way, in that he would rather not face Jiren right now, if he can help it. It would be such an utter bother. And in the Frieza lexicon, bother means, oh my god, I am so scared of him, I'm about to pee my pretty little pink pants. I just don't think he wants to admit to us that he's scared, or even admit it to himself. But before he leaves, Frieza tells Goku about all the hubbub his new Ultra Instinct form was causing amongst the gods of destruction. And the way Goku says, no, is just so telling. It's almost just like he's going, go on, I like power. Tell me how to get this power. Naturally, Frieza absolutely loves being the center of attention, so he chooses to show the actions and the significance of what Goku did by just bouncing off without another word, so Goku's just left to stew on all those thoughts, and knowing Goku, yeah, he won't be getting that far. Goku's just left there to roll the words Ultra Instinct around his tongue like Kakyoin does with a cherry. Goku then asks himself whether he can actually beat Jiren again if he were able to tap into this power one more time. And face it, Goku, you are going to get that power again because... do I even need to say it? Meanwhile, the battle between Jiren and Hit begins with Hit getting... well, hit. He is sent spiraling around before he then decides to use his time skip ability. However, even this doesn't get a hit on the big grey dude. And okay, I promise I will try and find different words for a hit, and hit is getting too confusing and it's a little bit too lazy. Unfortunately for our assassin friend, Jiren has pretty much figured out time skip almost instantly. Oh my days, man, Jiren, you're just too strong, man. Would you go away, please? I swear to God, if I have to hear you say, whoa, one more time, I don't know what I'll do. Hit now believes that Goku wasn't lying or bluffing or hyping Jiren up. He is as strong as he looks. Yeah, Hit, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, he is going to show you exactly how strong he is. Hit has to admit that he's going to be facing an uphill struggle to try and beat Jiren now. No. Really? The job must be really serious because Hit is really grimacing hard. It's almost like he's gurning. Like, really serious. Also, have you noticed the fact that Hit's been able to get a lot more words out of Jiren than Goku ever did? Is this a sign of respect? Is this a sign of Jiren getting frustrated, showing any kind of emotion whatsoever? Maybe. Let me know what you think in the comments. But wait! Hit's gurning was just a decoy. It turns out he can make a phantom version of himself using his time skip ability. As Jiren has been captivated by Hit's interesting looking head, Hit turned around and used his alternate reality pockets to get around and then try and get a punch on him, but naturally, it doesn't work. I mean, what does now? Hit's able to actually tap into this relatively easily because all the time skips he's done over the centuries have actually coalesced into a time well that can last for months, weeks, whatever. It's certainly enough for a tournament. Nonetheless, Jiren is still able to unleash his Tumble Dryer Takedown, at least that's what I'm calling it, and absolutely trounces Hit into the ground with both his feet, just curb stomping in something chronic. Hit has to come to terms with the fact that there is nothing he can do against Jiren with his time skip ability, so he chooses to do a time skip. Tournament logic, I guess? Up on the stands, everyone is speculating as much as I am about why on earth Hit's using a time skip ability constantly and it still doesn't work. Surely Hit's figured that out by now. But wait, okay, remember what I said last week? The Supreme Kais are there to represent us and we're just going, oh my god, Hit's time skip ability doesn't work, what do we do? As that's going on, Goku's watching the two of them go at it and wondering about whether he can actually just leap onto Jiren and catch him unawares and off guard. I mean, hey, Dragonball characters do that all the time, so it stands to reason that it might work. However, Goku's got some company in the form of Universe 6 Namekians! You can't miss them, they're sort of teal? Those two Namekians are Saunel and Pilina. We caught a glimpse of them in the previous episode as they were marveling at the Spirit Bomb in the Ultra Instinct form, but now we get to see them in the flesh and very clearly and very well drawn. Enter Gohan and Piccolo! Those two are going to be fighting the Namekians, and oh boy, we are going to get Universe 6 Namekians and Universe 7 Namekian meeting up. Oh boy, what are they going to do? But unfortunately, we don't get to see this fight because we then cut to Vegeta fighting Ribrienne and pretty much going like, I hate love! But love does not stop the fact that Vegeta is wailing on Ribrienne in his base form. Okay, logic can just go out the window sometimes in a fight in a tournament, but you gotta admit, Vegeta's fighting grit is so impressive. That is to say, until Rosie, the other one, I'm sorry, she's really not done much up to this point, steps in and throws Vegeta off balance. As Vegeta has a little temper tantrum and causes a smokescreen to engulf the area, Rosie and Ribrienne then escape and hide under the rocks, so that means they can regroup and try and figure out what to do, whilst Vegeta just bounces around on top of them. Yeah, Vegeta, do you remember the fact that you can sense powers? Surely you would have been able to sense them, especially when you were right on top of them. Again, tournament logic, I suppose. But enough of all this love, we gotta get back to the main event of Hit and Jiren fighting each other, and it's going about as well as you expect. Oh hey, look, it's the Universe 6 Saiyans. Maybe they want to go in and help their comrade Hit and try and beat Jiren. Well, at least Caulifla does, Kaba doesn't, and I think there's a reason for that. Kaba is now basically just embodying the plot and the writers by just going like, no one gets to help. We get Hit and Jiren fighting because it looks cool, it sounds cool, and it'll make us a lot of money. This is all in the guise of saying that Hit has a plan. Oh, yeah he does. As do Super's promo team. Luckily, all of Hit's work has paid off. He is able to use the Phantom Fist to guess where Jiren's movements will be, and that move that we saw him use against Vegeta in the Universe 6 arc is used again. The first one is a distraction, but the second one actually hits! I must admit that this sequence was pretty cathartic. Jiren just assumed that this entire move was utterly worthless, but when it proved not to be, he looked so peeved. He looked so angry. Like, I got it! Like he was having a mini tantrum but just not allowing anyone to see it. I bet his mind was screaming. But I must admit, from the looks of it, Hit is having a very hard time keeping it all together. I don't think he'll be able to do much other than just keep Jiren in place. But in a surprising act of solidarity, Hit tells the Universe 6 Saiyans to go off and do what they were supposed to do in the name of Universe 6. Fight the other fighters and make sure that Universe 6 stays the course. Don't focus on this one, go out there and fight everyone else. Wow, Hit thinking of other people. That is really cool. Is this a rites of passage we're seeing right here? Is this Hit having a character arc? But before we can actually process what's just happening here, Jiren is, of course, too strong for Hit's time cage, and he's slowly breaking out of it. Hit has now no choice but to put all of his chips on the table and launch an all-powerful attack to try and just shatter Jiren into time glass. Now, I must admit that this attack does look amazing, but as you would expect, it doesn't work. Oh great, how does Jiren get out of this one? He using his eyes again! The eyes! Jiren crushes Hit's attack as well as his spirit, as now the alien is back in the room. Okay. Jiren is just looking way too strong right now. This is just getting ridiculous. Vados, who is actually quite shocked, puts it quite well. Jiren is so powerful that he is able to transcend time itself. And that's just putting it lightly. Hit is now on the back foot as he is hurled with eye attacks and then literally hurled across the ring and then out of the ring. So yeah, Hit is now out. Okay, that was very quick. Despite Champa's usually angry temperament, he actually does praise Hit for all of his work, but the assassin is just in no mood for pleasantries right now as the second half of the tournament begins. The mood in the ring changes as the Pride Troopers regroup, but in the ultimate shade throwing, Jiren just looks at Goku dead in his eyes and then says, "All of the fighters I want to fight are now gone," and then just promptly goes to meditate. Oh, no you didn't! Oh! The episode ends with Goku looking really angry and miffed that he was actually laid bare to the sickest burn possible. All in all, this episode was still as intense as the last two. I was seriously concerned that after all the real excitement and great animation of the last two episodes, that this one would suffer, but it didn't. The two biggest antagonists of Super were going at it, and they really looked good whilst doing so. Perhaps we're in the midst of Super's workforce really stepping it up, because now they've seen that the Tournament of Power is really, really popular, and they can now get their teeth stuck into something really good. As for Hit, I believe that we just witnessed Hit's character arc coming to a close, or at least at the beginning of the home stretch. He has gone from being just a solitary person fighting alone, just trying to get a living as an assassin, to now fighting with allies, thinking of the greater good, as well as his directive being for multiple people instead of just one person. That is a very big deal for someone like Hit. So yeah, he didn't succeed at making sure that Universe 6 won the tournament, but he certainly gave it a damn good try. So okay, we have to take stock here now the Tournament of Power is halfway done. We are 14 episodes into said tournament, and I think it's safe to say that we are going to be focused on this point in the plot for the rest of the year, and maybe a little way into 2018. Are you alright with that? Has this arc actually been worth your time? Has it been interesting? Has it raised your estimation of Super in any way? These are all questions to think about as we progress further into the show. But anyway, that was my review for Dragon Ball Super episode 111. Tune in next time for my review of episode 112. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later!